He just popped up. All right. I call to order the Newman City Council regular meeting December 14th, 2021. City Council Chamber, 6 p.m., 938 Fresno Street. Notice this meeting will be held in accordance with the California Government Code Section 59453, Subdivision E of the Ralph M. Brown Act, California Government Code Section 54950, City of Newman Resolution number 2021-54, and the Federal Americans with Disability Act. Given the state of emergency regarding the threat of COVID-19, this meeting will be not. I'm sorry. I just lost my whole thing. Given the state of emergency regarding the threat of COVID-19, this meeting will not be physically open to the public. All members of the public may participate and comment via video conferencing at https://zoom.us/975-366-4528, passcode 479143, and via teleconference by calling 669-900-6833, mean ID 975-364-5284 with the passcode 479143. Let's go and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United
States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
I greet all of you this evening in the mighty word of our Lord Savior Jesus Christ. Precious Lord, please give us guidance in this meeting, because the lack of guidance causes a nation to fall. But victory is won through many advisors. Lord, let us not be misguided in this meeting, so that we do not lead to decisions that produces ineffective results. I pray that you direct our steps so that this meeting can achieve our goals. We place you at the center of this meeting. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Ball.
Present.
Councilmember McDonald.
Present.
Councilmember Pimentel.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Candia.
Here.
Mayor Graham.
Here. All right. Any declarations of conflict of interest today? None. Item 6, ceremonial matters, none. Number 7, items from the public, non-agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor. For any members of the public wishing to provide public comment at this time, you can do so by pressing the raised hand button under the participant tab. If you're calling in, you can press *9, or alternatively, you can send the host a message in the chat channel and we will read your comment into the record. I'm going to give the public an opportunity to raise their hand, and I am not seeing any hands raised at this time, Mayor.
Okay. We'll move to item 8, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of the November 9th, 2021 meeting. D, adopt resolution 2021, next number, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Newman making findings in accordance with AB 361 and Government Code Section 54953 apparent E, authorizing remote teleconferencing meetings for legislative bodies of the Newman City Council. E, accept proposal from EMC Planning Group for environmental review and CEQA documentation for Canton Ranch projects.
I'll make a motion. We approve the consent calendar as is.
We have a first. Do we have a second?
Second that.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item number 9, public hearings. There are none tonight. Item 10, regular business. A, adopt resolution 2021, next to number, a resolution receiving and accepting the General Purpose Financial Statement and Transportation Development Act audits for the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2021.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. We're at the culmination of a very long audit process that began back in June. The audit firm of RJ Riccardi has performed our audit this year. This is their 5th year with us. Michael O'Connor from that firm is here tonight to present his findings. Michael, I turn it over to you.
Welcome.
Turn your mic on, Michael. Mr. Connor.
There you go.
All right, can you hear me now?
Good.
Okay, thank you, Lou, for the introduction. Thank you, Lou, for the introduction. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council of the City of Newman. It's my honor to present the financial statements as of June 30, 2021. There are 2 reports actually in our audit. One is a management report where we do look at the city's internal controls, and we didn't have any observations there. They're the controls and their systems that produce the financial information for the city. And we, typically can make recommendations there, but we don't have any recommendations there. So there's nothing in that report that I need to present. So I'd like to jump to the city's financial statements, and hopefully you all can see them. I'll go to, I'd like to go to page 1 and page 2 of the financial statements. This is our opinion, and this is the best opinion you can receive. It's an unmodified opinion. There's a lot of different types of opinions, but everything was done in compliance with professional standards and regulations. So there's no exceptions, qualifications, modifications. It is on our letterhead. We do work for the City Council. Our contact information is there. Feel free to contact me or the firm I work for at any time with questions. And feel free to interrupt me at any time during this presentation with questions. So I would like to jump to page 14. Page 14 is your statement of net position. And this is a snapshot at June 30, 2021. And it reports the city's assets and liabilities. The difference between the assets and liabilities, it's what left over is your net position. So the bottom line at the bottom of the report, your governmental activities had over 24 million in net position. Your business type activities, which include your water and sewer funds, those are the ones that charge user fees, have 23 million in net position, and the city overall has 47 million approximately in net position. Most of it is tied up in capital assets. There's 36.5 million tied up in capital assets and infrastructure. So this net statement of net position is on the full accrual basis of accounting, which is similar to what a for-profit company would use. They would also be doing it on a full accrual basis. Next, I'd like you to turn to page 15 if you don't have any questions. This is your statement of activities for the year ending June 30, 21. It shows the summary of your activities financially. It starts on the left with your expenses. Governments are in the businesses of providing services to the public. And those are the costs of those services. As you can see, government activities at 8.6 million and another 4.1 million in your business type activities, giving you almost $13 million in expenses for the citywide. The third line from the bottom shows a change in net position, and you have a loss of $658,000 in your governmental activities. That means you spent more than brought in. Your business type activities, though, has a profit, basically $2.4 million. Overall, the city has almost a $1.8 million of excess of revenues over expenses for the year ending June 30, 2021. Next, I'd like you to turn to the next page, 16. So historically, cities have always used the modified accrual basis of accounting. It's basically similar to a cash basis. This is your balance sheet. It's similar to the statement of net position, but it's on the modified accrual basis. And it lists all your governmental funds. At the bottom of that page, second line from the bottom, you have total fund balances. Pointing out your general fund has $3.9 million unassigned fund balance. Your CDBG fund, 4.9, public facility improvement fund, over $5 million. Storm drain fund is 257,000. Your non-major funds, these are a bunch of smaller funds. They're broken out at the end of this report if you want to see the detail of all those funds, but they're summarized in this one column. And you have 2.7 million, almost $2.8 million in fund balance. Overall, the city has just over 17 million in fund balance in their governmental activities. If you notice, everything there is positive. There's no deficit fund positions. That's very positive for the city. Your next page, page 18, is your statement of revenue and expenditures and changes in fund balance. It's similar to the statement of activities we saw, except this is on the modified accrual basis, more on a cash basis. Third line from the bottom, it shows your net change in fund balance. So your general fund had excess of revenues over expenditures of over $400,000. And then going across, you have 18,000 in CDBG, almost 62,000. Public facility improvement fund. Storm drain had a very, very small loss of $124. Your non-major funds, looks like they've spent more than they brought in, probably due to the operating transfer above. Looks like money was transferred out, mostly to the general fund. And they had a loss of $114,000 there. Overall, $369,603 increase in fund balances for your governmental activities. Next, I'd like to jump to page 20. Page 20 are your business type activities, which is your water and sewer fund. And this is on the full accrual basis because they charge user fees. That requires them to be on the full accrual basis, just like a for-profit company. So at the bottom, the last line, total net position, your sewer fund has 19 million, water fund has 3.7 or 3.8 million, and then basically 23 million overall in net position for both these funds. And it's basically all tied up in your infrastructure for your water and sewer fund. Next, I'd like to turn to page 21. And page 21 is your statement of activities, just for your business type activities. And we went through this before in the full accrual statements, but these break them out between water and sewer versus the total column is what is reported in your statement of activities. But your sewer fund, third line from the bottom, has a change in net position, basically $1.5 million positive, and you have $965,000 in your water fund in revenues exceeding expenditures. It's break to 2.4 million of revenues exceeding expenditures in your business type funds for the year. Behind these statements, you have notes to the financial statements, and that gives you a lot of information on the city's accounting policies and more information behind a lot of the city's operations and some of their major accounts. Gives you information on the CalPERS pension plan. Anyway, there's a lot of information there. I'm not going to go through that, but if you ever have questions, you can contact me. I'm sure Lou can answer a lot of questions as well. But that's all I wanted to point out in this report. So that's it, unless you have questions.
Are there any?
I have a quick question, from O'Connor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've been doing these reports for many years, probably centuries. And saying that we're very comfortable with our financial guy, Lou. You know, we can go to bed and sleep comfortable. But you, as an advisor, and you do these reports, how do we look as a city in terms of what you're finding there?
You look very positive. You don't really have any deficit net positions here, deficit fund balances. I think Lou does a great job in managing the money, keeping funds from being overspent. So you're very, very healthy, especially for a small city. There's a lot of cities that are struggling, especially with their pension plan liabilities and the retiree health liabilities. So you're in a very good financial shape.
Well, that's good to have a second opinion and coming from a person like yourself. And like I said, you know, I just, you know, endorse Lou. You know, he's, we are very blessed to have a person in that position like yourself. And thank you so much for your report.
No problem. Thank you. Good question.
Any other questions? Again, I'd like to reiterate what Councilman McDonald said. Lou, thank you for all your hard work. O'Connor, thank you for your hard work on doing this for us. So with that, I'll bring it back to the council for action.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Thank you, staff, first of all, and Mr. Connor. I move to adopt Resolution 2021, resolution receiving and accepting the general purpose financial statement and Transportation Development Act audits for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2021.
With first, second?
Second.
You have a first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 10B, approve agreement with Rick Engineering Company for completion of 100% civil engineering, landscape architecture services, and construction support services for the Newman constructed wetland project, NEWS, NEWS, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take this item.
Good evening.
So this is exciting. This is the first contract that we're going to enter into of one of many to get our news project constructed. As you know, previously we were awarded technical assistance to apply for the grant and then design it up to a certain percentage. Then we got a second grant, and that was to be able to have our project designed up to 90%. And so now we're ready to use the Prop 1 funding that we did receive and take our project to 100% design. And that will include every component so we can put the project out to bid. And then you'll be seeing the results of that and award a contractor so we can construct this project, which we expect next summer. And so we're super excited about it. And I'll take any questions if you have them on this item.
Do they have expected time to complete this?
Yeah, right.
So we have applied for the permits through the Army Corps of Engineers and the State Water Board, and we expect to get those permits in February. We're hopeful of that. And then at around February, we'll have 100% design completed, and then, or very close to it. And then we will have all the bid documents put together and then go out to bid in the spring. And then we expect to award the bid in July and go into construction soon thereafter. And the construction will take not quite a year. I think it's like 50 weeks or something like that. And then, so I expect 23 will be done around the the end of 23 is a good guess to be completed with this project. And then once we get the grading done on this project, then we'll start construction on our restored wetland project, a lot smaller project, but we did get a grant for that. And so we'll be doing some construction simultaneously after, but not grading. We can't do the grading at the same time.
Any questions?
Yeah, I would just like to say, Kathy, it's so great, to hear you speak of the grant money that you're receiving. That is such a blessing, and that makes, the projects come so easy in terms of what we need to do in terms of our master plan. So I just want to, take the time to just thank you for
You're welcome.
the work that you do and how we are growing here in the city of Newman.
You're welcome. And I appreciate Michael for letting me sometimes spend a little bit of money to get these grants written so we can get
Right.
awarded. So, and you guys, you authorize those expenditures, and in this case, it really worked out well. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to spend the state's money and get our project built.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excited about this. If there's no more
Yeah.
questions, if there's no more questions, I'll bring it back to council.
Somebody. Huh.
I move to approve the agreement with Rick Engineering Company for the completion of the 100% civil engineering, landscaping, architectural services, and construction support services for the Newman Construction Wetland System Project, NEWS, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
I'll second that.
Yeah, first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Item 11, items from District 5, Stanislaus County Supervisor Condit. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Happy to be here with you tonight with you and the council. I'm happy to report that our redistricting commission did approve a map that was brought to the front of the board, which we did ratify, which keeps the west side consolidated. That was something that was a concern of mine, keeping our west side communities together. I do believe that we are stronger together and have similar interests in our west side region. So I thought that was very positive, and I'm happy and grateful to continue representing the city of Newman. Besides that, I did want to report just a little bit on the Crows Landing Naval Air Base and I guess the developments moving forward into the new year. We, as I mentioned at prior meetings, we have entered into an agreement, an engagement with the master developer, Industrial Realty Group of Nevada, which is an exclusive agreement up until January 31st, 2022. So our county strategic team and committee regarding the airbase has been in conversations with this developer, and we're hopefully progressing forward and can have something concrete and solid before January 30th of 2022. But besides that, you will start seeing some development out there with landscaping, as well as just basic infrastructure around the base in the spring, early summer. So that's exciting and positive. And of course, we're all, gearing to get that project up and running. But outside of that, I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I look forward to attending these meetings continuing into 2022. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? I had one. Do you have any information on the Del Porto Canyon Reservoir plan?
That, as far as I know, that it is moving forward. I know Congressman Josh Harder secured a roughly $30 million or so for that project. So the feds are invested in it. Whether or not that project ends up in litigation, which I know there's a group out there potentially that will litigate that project and potentially slow it down. It will probably end up in the courts, my best estimate. But outside of that, the project is supposedly moving forward until that does happen. But I don't see that huge $30 million chunk. I think the project is eventually going to happen. Eventually, just might take some time.
Right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good deal.
Item number 12, items from the city manager and staff. Michael.
Thank you, Mayor. Just first and foremost, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Allie and Susan Borelli. As you know, we had the Christmas tree lighting on the first Saturday of December, and they did a great job. Mayor, also thank you to you for helping to lead the charge on that and get that lighting event going. Another great year. At the time I showed up, around 5 o'clock, I bet you there's 400 to 500 people there. It was a great event. A lot of great vendors there. They've really expanded that project. So again, a lot of hard work done by our staff, including Allie and Susan Borelli, who's behind the scenes. She's the one that does all the decorating for the Christmas tree, or she's in charge of helping all that out. So those two ladies did a great job on that, and I wanted to thank them for that. Secondly, you may have heard there's a national opioid settlement moving forward. We have signed on to that as a city at the direction of our legal counsel. Maybe she can talk about that in just a little bit. If you guys want some further information on that, she can give you some background information for that. I've been part of a team of city managers who's been working with the county on property tax and how that's currently allocated, and maybe coming to a more equitable way of sharing those. We're making some good progress. I'm hoping that maybe next month we can share some results with you, but I think we're getting close to reaching a good settlement with both sides. Still some fine tuning to go, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we're making good progress on that. So that's great news. Probably should have followed this one with it. On the bad news side, despite the great efforts of Catherine and our team, RRM and all the like, we did not get our nature park grant of $4.5 million. The state awarded $500 million, over $500 million, and
Wow.
Catherine and I are dumbfounded how a disadvantaged community with a nature park where we've already spent a ton of money buying the land, doing all these other things, how we cannot get funded, but Berkeley gets funded and San Francisco and LA. It's quite disappointing, but it's not for lack of a great project, and it's not for lack of a great effort by our team led by Catherine and RRM on that. So we'll continue to search out grant opportunities for that. We believe that is a great project. We think it has long-term positive impacts for our community. So we'll continue to search out grants for that, as well as grants in conjunction with UC Merced for their portion of the Newman Community Conservation Area. Just lastly, housekeeping. City Hall closes on December 23rd, and we will reopen on January 3rd for holiday closure. And then just lastly, just want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your families. So with that, Mayor, I can answer any questions you may have. And again, if you'd like, maybe Nubia can just talk about the opioid settlement a little bit.
Thanks, Michael. Do you want me to do that now? You can
Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So again, good evening, Mayor and council members. Just to give you a quick overview of the status of this litigation, there is a national opioid litigation that's currently underway, brought by states and municipalities around the country against opioid distributors and manufacturers. And so the main lawsuits are really centered around three different companies, the pharmaceutical distributors. And as part of the national settlement of these cases, the California Attorney General's office is overseeing the settlement portion of it. And they're coordinating with California cities that qualify, because there is a requirement for qualification for settlement. And so where we're at with that right now is that the proposed settlement agreements really center around a multi-million-dollar settlement with the intent of these funds going towards really abatement of the opioid epidemic. And what that really means are monies to be used for substance use prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery. And so California, out of the, actually I should say $1 billion settlement, California will receive a max of $2.2 billion as part of the settlement, and will be in charge of distributing that amongst eligible counties and cities. And so in order to become part of the settlement class, they're requiring that each jurisdiction formally approve the settlement agreements. So we're in talks with the AG's office to notify them that the city of Newman, per direction from the city manager, at least wants to be included on the watch list as an eligible recipient. And we'll work out some of the details and probably bring back any necessary agreements to you at your next regular city council meeting. But in essence, what it does, it will preserve Newman's rights to the settlement amounts. And at some point later on, the council can determine on how to best use those funds. And so every city in California has basically different options, basically to use the funds itself for programs that qualify, or if there aren't local programs that are deemed appropriate for the use of funds, then there can be a coordination with the county at the county level. And so we'll walk through some of those requirements as we move forward, but Michael wanted at least to get the ball rolling in terms of registering for settlement participation. So I'll make sure that we make this agenda item at a next upcoming council meeting.
Outstanding. Thank you. Any questions? No. All right. Thank you. Allie, good evening.
Evening, Mayor, council members. Good to see you guys. I wanted to say thank you for coming out to our Christmas tree lighting and enjoying the night. Thank you to all the departments who helped us that night: fire, public works, Miss Susan, the police department for being out there. Just in general, the vendors, the small businesses that were out there. We had a total of 51 booths out there with a large number of people that did come out our community to support such a great night. So overall, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody and to the community. It was an outstanding night. Apart from that, we are to our Chamber for Kids event where we get resources for the less fortunate kids in our community, and we put those out and give those gifts to members of our.
We lost you, Allie. Your audio went away.
Audio's gone.
It's not showing you on mute. The audio just went away.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. So we're working with Chamber for Kids as part of the city and uniting with them and the school to give back gifts to the community for the children who need more help in our community. That's the next thing we're on now. Hopefully we finish that up this Friday. We'd like to thank all of the community members and businesses who have donated for this great cause in our community. And then we are rolling into basketball come 2022, so we're looking forward to that. And with that being said, I can answer any questions y'all may have.
Any questions? All right. Thank you, Allie. Chief Richardson.
Evening, Mayor, council members. Just a reminder of, like City Hall, we will also be closed from the 23rd to January 3rd in our lobby. The officers will still be here available for calls. We will still have somebody checking in. If somebody needs something from our lobby area, we can make arrangements to make that happen. The holiday seasons are upon us and celebrations have begun. We want to remind everybody to celebrate safely. Designate a driver if you're going to a holiday party. We've already had some accidents, DUI related accidents because of the holiday season. So we won't see you again until after the new year. So remind you, we got a couple coming up just to celebrate safely and get home safely to your families. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions? Thank you. Lou?
Evening. It's like as soon as you hear your name called, you're diving for the microphone button. I didn't have anything in particular to report tonight, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? No. Thank you, Lou. Catherine?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'm excited to report that we've been getting rain, in case you didn't notice. And with that reminder, with that event, I want to remind everybody that only rain goes down the drain. Make sure that, you're not dumping anything out there. It's for the community, just to be aware that all that water drains directly to the river. And so just try to protect it and make sure that only rain is going down the drain. Yeah, and also right now is brush and leaf pickup season. So make sure if you're putting brush and leaves out on the curb, it's away from the gutter pan so that rainwater can travel through. That'll help the streets clear out of water. I am super happy to report that the Highway 33 Inyo project is out to bid right now. So that's the intersection improvements. It's out to bid. We're going to award the bid on the second meeting in January. So you guys will see that. Hopefully we get some good bidders. Also, we're currently doing a sidewalk project on Kern that's filling in some sidewalks where we didn't have any. It's kind of a muddy mess out there right now. And they're demoing and then getting ready to form so we can pour concrete when we get a little bit nicer weather within hopefully the next couple of weeks. Make sure, if you can, avoid the area and because there is heavy equipment and such things out in that neighborhood. I'll take any questions. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I'm super sad about not getting the grant for the nature park. But, we're only given what we can handle. So maybe it's just a sign that we need to hold out for something better. So we're looking.
Questions?
Yeah, I just like to say that, when one door closed, God opened many doors.
That's right.
So
That's how I'm looking at it.
Yes, just be hopeful. It's coming.
That's right.
Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just a few safety items. Like everyone else stated, the holiday season's coming. So remember to use candle safety if you can. Instead of using a lit candle, use a LED or a battery operated candle. If you do have lit candles, make sure they're in an area that won't burn anything. Same with your stove, ovens. If you do have an oven fire, close the door, shut it off, and let the fire go out. Also, make sure your smoke detectors are working as you have people over and you're cooking. Make sure you have good smoke detectors. Just want to remind you to water your trees, keep them watered. They do dry out fast, especially with heaters on and all that inside the house. It'll dry your tree out. With the wet weather, like Catherine said, there are sandbag locations. We posted that, and I think we sent out an email to everyone about some of those locations countywide. Just want to remind everybody to drive safely. Water is already pooling out there, so just drive safely. It doesn't take much to hydroplane. And I also, too, want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I can answer any questions anyone has.
Question? Nope. Thank you, Chief. Councilman Ball.
This coming Saturday, I will be representing city leadership unless anybody else is joining me at the Wreaths Across America event at Hills Ferry Cemetery, 1 p.m. If anybody else is interested in joining me, feel free to come. This year, they will be honoring the 80th anniversary, the veterans of the 80th anniversary of World War II. Additionally, last Saturday, Mia and I attended the first hour of the event downtown. Again, very impressed with the setup, the number of vendors, the number of attendees. The food was great. So excellent job by staff. A lot of hard work. So thank you and happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
I'll be out there with you at the Reach for America.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Councilman McDonald.
Yes, I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to you all and Happy New Year's. I'm looking forward to 2022. And I know that we've been pretty blessed here in the city of Newman. I just look forward to the blessings that we are basically going to be receiving. God bless you all. Merry Christmas and be safe.
Councilman Pimentel?
Well, you know, it starts tomorrow. I hate to bring in the bad news, but we have to wear masks for at least 1 month mandated. I'd like to wish everybody else a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And let's keep it snowing and raining. We could use it.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you. Pro Tem Candia?
Not too much tonight. Just, we all know that masks are not useful or helpful in this COVID epidemic, but we got to do what you got to do. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hope to see you soon
Thank you,
in
Nick.
person.
Thank you, Nick. I have a couple of things. Michael, thank you for working on the taxes, the tax sharing with the county, and thank you, Supervisor Condit, for supporting that action because it'll be a valuable asset to our city to help us continue to grow and do what we need to do and pay the bills, really. So I appreciate that. The Christmas line party was outstanding. Allie, thank you. And to Susan for all your guys' hard work, along with the chambers and to the city workers who put up all the decorations up and down the street. We appreciate it. It makes it for a very lovely night out there. It was an outstanding turnout. So I think all the community that showed up to support it, it was really a fun night and very eventful. Along with that, one of the things is every month we have a mayor's meeting and we rotate from town to town to town, and they all love to come to our town for Christmas. It's been a tradition that the mayors hold the meeting here at Christmas time just because they love the downtown area and all the lights and how pretty it is. So that's more kudos to what we do here in the city and what you guys do. As far as the mayor's meeting goes, it's just a normal little meeting. It was more of a little Christmas party than anything. And I'd like to thank Allie and Michael and then all the ladies that helped out Allie setting that up and helping us out in catering and doing all the work for us. It turned out to be a great event. So I appreciate that. And with that,
Can I say one more thing? And kind of address this to Mike Harlan. Go 49ers.
His team got us, unfortunately.
We got to play him one more time, though.
We do.
Right.
With that, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and ask for adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second it.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Good night.
Have a
Good
Merry
night,
Christmas, Happy
everybody.
New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year!